we don't have the sense. They look just like kings and queens, but they do real stupid things. That they use to shut them down because you're their biggest friends. Politicians in my eyes.
Even the drum. I'm picturing, you know how Animal from the Muppets, ah, ah, me like. Hey, the guy singing almost sounds like Animal. Yeah, and then all of a sudden he starts like drumming, hitting the drums really loud. So I should have had Animal sing this. This would be so freaking funny.
It's showtime, folks.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Into the Music. This is where I listen to some really interesting, sometimes great music, sometimes good music. Yeah, even when it's I wonder, it always does still make me wonder, and makes me sort of learn a thing or two. Something old, something new. Always discovering a lot of great stuff here on this channel. And so, with that said, Roland, who is making this request on my Ko-fi channel. Click below and it'll take you to a place where you can make a request, and I guarantee I'm going to react to it. And Roland wants me to listen to a song from Death. That's the name of the band. So, yeah, and the song title is Politicians in My Eyes. So that's a really interesting, intriguing song title. Makes me wonder, it's going to take a hit at politicians. That's probably my bet. This is going to be, a real sort of sarcastic type of, yeah, sort of biting type of kicking politicians in the ass, right? Yeah, why not? They deserve it. So here we go. Death, politicians in my eyes.
1, 2, 3, now.
Oh, that bass. Love it.
The #1 music game is with the kingdom of fame. It's like a race to the top because they wanna be boss. They don't care who they step on as long as they get along. Politicians in my eyes. They could care less about you, they could care less about me. As long as they are put in the place that they want to be. They're always wearing small smiles like they go with the style. Politicians in my eyes. Always trying to be slick when they tell us that they're responsible for sending young men to die. We have waited so long for someone to come along and correct our country wrong, but the wait's been too long.
Oh yeah, this is this is I mean, they're not trying to like artistic their way around this, and try to be cute and try to be cryptic and coded and what is this song about? I mean, what is it, like a minute and 50, 30 seconds in? Yeah. And I mean, it's clear, about politicians. They don't care about you, they don't care about me. We wait so long for someone to come along and to be that one to kind of lead us, and it never happens. Fool's gold. We just keep getting fooled. I think at this point, I don't think anyone gets fooled anymore. Well, I think there are people who still get hoodwinked and blindfolded and thinking that uh, the person they're voting for is, everything they say is golden and that's it. And that's a shame because um, so many politicians. I think more people are smarter now. and we're seeing through the smoke, the smoke and mirrors and all that shit, and politicians for what they are. That said, I don't know, kind of need them. I don't, I, but I'm gonna pull back now because right now he's just talking about, he's already to the point where, politicians, they don't care about you and me. Let's see what else he has to say. Ah, that bass line, what that bass has to say. That's so good.
See the way they lie on TV, something daddy can be a better man than you see. But when decisions are come, that's when they have all the fun. Politicians in my eyes. They're always trying to convince you like you don't have the sense. They look just like kings and queens, but they do real stupid things. That they use you trust in them because you're their biggest friends. Politicians in my eyes.
Even the drum. I'm picturing, how Animal from the Muppets. Ah, ah, me like. Hey, the guy singing almost sounds like Animal. Yeah, and then all of a sudden he starts like drumming, hitting the drums really loud. So they should have had Animal sing this. This would be so freaking funny. Good song though. It really is. I like this a lot.
Reaching out, shaking hands, making friends and other plans. Some will rise, some will fall, some won't even answer calls. Look ahead, see them fly, see the twinkle in their eyes. Politicians, tell me why can't you hear the people cry?
Oh, man, where's this band been in my life? So I see 1974 through 2009. So this was recorded in 74. It sounds like a 70s song. Like a kind of, I don't know about blues rock, but definitely like a classic 70s rock song with the drumming and the bass line. Ah, the vocals. I just went out into the atmosphere. I love it. I'm loving the song. This is good stuff. Oh, I'm bringing that part right back. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Loved this as a first listen. Loved this. I liked
This
the
was
song a lot. I truly did. For a first time listen, I mean, what's there not to like? The bass line. And you had that sort of that wham is that guitar that's coming in with the drums. I mean, that was fantastic. I mean, that was kind of coming up at different times of the song in the beginning, and then a couple more times, middle and the end. Um, yeah, um, there was that chorus part where I think it was the chorus where it was descending. I love descending notes. I love descending almost anything. That was really effective. Um, just really, again, just great rhythm. The rhythm section uh, just kept the song moving. You know, even when they kind of stopped, right? There was parts of the song where I kind of stopped and I kind of like had some fun with the vocalist because when he sang "Politicians in My Eyes," you know, it sounded like he sounded like Animal from Muppets. Politicians in my eyes, and then you had the drums that are going right after he sings that. I mean that's Animal, right? Because he played the drums. I'm just picturing him singing like that. But I mean, I'm not making fun of the song. I'm just having fun. Um, but that was really cool. I love that part, you know, because he wasn't singing like that the whole song. He's like, you know, uh, they care less about you, they care less about me. You know, it had almost like that kind of sound. And then he does his politicians in my eyes, kind of gruff sounding. Um, yeah, so like when he did that, and then it was the drumming leading up until, you know, so that was the break in the rhythm section that was kind of driving the song, but then you get right back into it. Um, yeah. There was also there was some of the song where it reminded me of Spirit, you know, the way the guitars were being played and stuff like that. And the rhythm and the kind of stop start a little bit. Spirit, the band. Yeah. And so check out Spirit. Actually, we've done a little bit of Spirit on this channel and want to do more of them. And so, yeah, I mean, again, great rhythm, great guitar, just everything, chorus descendant. I think I kind of hit it all. And the lyrics didn't disappoint. I mean, absolutely. Um, had a lot to say about politicians, you know, and as I was saying in the reaction, you know, they're not beating around the bush. Nothing cryptic coded, nothing like that, you know. I wonder what they're singing about. I mean, they're absolutely slamming politicians. They don't give a shit about me or you. So I want to get into the lyrics, but wait, actually, let me just pull it back. Let me get into the band a little bit. And what was a little bit tricky here is that there is so there's a band called Death, they're metal. I think there might be American metal band. And then you have this sort of punk, actually, as Wiki describes them. Um, they are a proto punk band. And I think I have the right band here. So David, Bobby, and Dennis Hackney, Dennis, not Dennis, from Detroit, Michigan. Proto punk, punk rock, garage rock, funk. Years active 1971 through 1977, and then 2009 to present. I think this song is off an album that they put out in 2009. And yeah, so Death is an American, this is Wiki. Death is an American rock band formed in Detroit, Michigan, 1971. So Bobby plays the bass, vocals, David guitar, and Dennis drums. The trio started out as a funk band, but switched to rock after seeing a concert by The Who. That's cool. Seeing Alice Cooper play was also an inspiration. Music critic Peter Mogasak retrospectively wrote that David pushed, quote, pushed the group in a hard rock direction that presaged punk. And while this certainly didn't help them find a following in the mid 70s, today it makes them look like visionaries. Wow. End quote. David himself having been called the visionary of the group. Okay. I never heard this band before. Oh, this is really interesting. In 64, the brothers were sat down by their father to witness the Beatles' first appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show. The following day, David found a discarded guitar in an alley and set about learning to play. I think that that's the story of a zillion bands out there that watched the Beatles on that show and they wanted to be like the Beatles. I mean, that's why I became a Beatle fan. You know, Ed Sullivan died and they did a tribute to him and they the clip of the Beatles being on that show. And I remember just like being 12, 13 years old and stopping dead in my tracks and going like, who are they? And the girls screaming for them and all that. And I was hooked. I was hooked. And these guys were hooked too, and they became a band. So that's really cool. This song is off their which one now? Is this just one album? It's off the album called For the Whole World to See. It's not clear on what number, the first, the second, the third. Um, Released in 2009 and consists of various demos originally recorded in the mid 1970s. So that's really cool. And yeah, so I'm looking at the track list here, and this is the last song, Politicians in My Eyes. I do have, they have nothing to say about it though. So let me get into the lyrics. Oh, here, oh, somebody actually wrote something. I love it. Ingenious.com, the lyric website that I use a lot. Someone writes this. For a while, this used to be the only output of the proto-punk band Death until their debut, released in 1974. They are considered one of the progenitors of punk music. Yeah, kind of what Wiki was saying. So let me get into the lyrics. One, two, three now. The number one biggest game, it's when they gain the most fame. It's like a race to the top because they want to be boss. They don't care who they step on as long as they get along. Politicians in my eyes. They could care less about you. They could care less about me. As long as they are to end the place they want to be, they're always wearing false smiles. I guess it goes with the style. Politicians in my eyes. I wonder if the politicians are in their eyes because they're actually, no matter where they turn, they're just there. You know, I think in this day of age with social media and on Twitter and so on and so forth and on the news, I mean, it's just 24/7 politics. Politics is I would argue that's sort of taken over our lives. It's I think it's such a much stronger force in today's society than it ever has been, at least in my lifetime. And I mean, I lived through even as a kid. I mean, I lived through Nixon, you know, when he left the White House, and I mean, right down the line, it's just permeated into every which way, uh, in sort of what we watch and what we read, and again, 24/7. So back to the chorus. Always trying to be slick when they tell us the lies. They're responsible for sending young men to die. True, we have waited so long for someone to come along and correct our country's law, but the wait's been too long. Yeah, we're always waiting. We're always waiting for that. This person will lead the way. The Who, right? Won't get fooled again. You know, the old boss. You know, the new boss, same as the old boss. Verse 3, it's really sickening to see the way they lie on TV. The truth is that he can be a better man than you see, but when decision time comes, that's when they have all the fun. Politicians in my eyes. So I think that line, that verse right there is really interesting. The truth is that he can be a better man than you see, but when decision time, so that better man is the person that we saw on the campaign trail, doling out all the promises, and you see something in him or her, and you say, they're going to be the next great thing, and they're going to lead us out of all the woes in the economy and steer us away from wars, um, and then they kind of get sort of sucked into the system, and they wind up becoming like someone the person that you did not vote for. Politicians in my eyes. Wow. Oh, here we go. Verse 4. They're always trying to convince, just like we don't have the sense. They look just like kings and queens, but they do real stupid things. Yeah. Yeah. Facts. Facts. They'll tell you to trust in them because you're their biggest friend, Politicians in my eyes, reaching out, shaking hands, making friends and other plans, talking about that campaign trail, right? Some will rise, some will fall, some won't even answer calls. Look ahead, see them fight, see the twinkle in their eye. Politicians tell me why. Can't you hear the people cry? Yeah. And then the instrumental. Just straightforward lyrics, get right to the point. Um, yeah, Roland, I like the song. I like the song a lot. I really did. I'm going back to it. This might actually go on a playlist. Uh, yeah, now I need some more songs from Death. Um, I don't know. Do they have sort of a wealth of material? Um, just from things I saw, I don't know. I have my doubts, but Roland, let me know what you know from this band, what other songs. Folks out there too who like this band, love this band. Yeah, drop some breadcrumbs. Let me know what that next song should be from Death. And in the meantime, I'll see all of you in the next episode of Into the Music.